Hi guys, welcome to a new vlog and welcome to my writing shed. It's a cold November day and on sort of rainy days like today, it's always quite difficult for me to get into my shed. And I have to sort of push myself just to make this little walk across the wet garden through the mud. But it's always so worth it when I'm here because I do love my own creative space. And that's sort of the topic of today's vlog in a lot of ways, is that idea of pushing yourself to do the things that are good for you. And just thinking about that, I was thinking about this book, The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. Now I got this copy, I'm not going to lie, maybe 15 years ago. What I have noticed about people who do this course is that there's one principle that always seems to stick for people. So well, actually it's two, to be fair. So you'll either find like a huge camp that do the morning pages, and which is such a useful trick that Julia teaches you, which is to just do a sort of brain dump in the morning and just do free writing and just take a notebook, and you're not allowed to reread it, and just basically get all that stuff out, which is an amazing practice. And then the other thing that a lot of people seem to stick with long term is the artist date. And I tend to fall into the second category, where I think that principle really stuck with me, because it's that idea of getting out of your rut and going to do something just fun for yourself. And the whole idea behind the artist date is that you go by yourself, so you can't go with anyone else, and you've got to have a fun day just doing something for you. So whether that's going to a museum or going to your favorite coffee shop, and that's what I decided to do this week, and it was so much fun. So I took the train and I headed to Manningtree, which is it's about a 30-minute drive away from me, but I decided to use the train, which is always so much more romantic. And I just had a lovely day, and I went to the Manningtree Arts Cafe, and it's just a lovely space. And it was one of those perfect days out where you take your book, and I took A Sorcerer Comes to Call by T. Kingfisher, and I have to say it was phenomenal. I don't know where I've been, like, why did I miss the whole T. Kingfisher hype? But I must be honest, after getting this book and getting so hooked, I've now ordered two others, so I'm so excited to read those as well. But yeah, I spent a lovely time in a coffee shop, and you know, the funny thing was, it was just one of those perfect bookish dates, because as I whipped up my book and had my cappuccino and I was just sitting in the corner getting all cozy, this lovely American woman introduced herself, and she was like, "Oh, I love T. Kingfisher. You're gonna love this book." And she wanted to know where I was, and we had this fabulous conversation. And you know, that doesn't always happen. You know, where you meet someone who likes the same books you do, and it was just lovely. Yeah, and then afterwards I went for a lovely walk along the river. I also popped into a few shops, and I came home with a couple of new books. But yeah, it was just a lovely time, and I just went for the morning. I spent a few hours, and it was enough, you know, just to refuel the creative well. And I think it's definitely something I want to start doing a little bit more of. And I think it's so important to refill the creative well whenever you can. I was always one of those people who didn't quite believe in writer's block, because I've just always thought that, you know, it's terrible, but that, you know, if you force yourself to sit down and do it, stuff will come. And I've always believed in the power of writing sprints. So if you set a timer and you just allow yourself to write, you almost always will find something. And you know, and my way of whenever I got stuck in a story was just to get up and do something else. So to go for a nice walk or get out. But it was only when we went through lockdown and I really, for the first time, experienced creative block. And I think that's because we weren't exposed to other people or getting out. And for the first time ever, and you know, I really had a block when it came to ideas and trying to get you know, we had quite a few books contracted, so it wasn't a great time to have a creative block. And I mean, I remember with my One Lady Graham the idea I had, it just wouldn't come alive. And so that was quite difficult. So I had to write to my editor and say, this is just not working. And she was incredibly patient, and she let me come up with a completely different idea. But yeah, there was a big delay with books, and I think I'm not the only one. So now I really do understand the value of getting out, and also just being appreciative of the fact that we can do these things. Look, I am privileged in that I don't have children, I just have a dog, and I have the kind of job that allows me to leave for a few hours in the day and do that sort of thing. So I really do understand that. But even so, I do think finding ways to give yourself that time is so good for you, and it's good for all of those people around you. So if you can get childcare and do those things for yourself, I think it's so enriching. I know I had a hairdresser who said to me that she just wanted to go and just browse the shops. That's all she wanted to do, and she had childcare, but she just couldn't seem to ask permission, in a sense, from her mother-in-law and her mother, who looked after her children every few days, to do that. And I think that's such a shame, because I think people will understand, or I hope they will understand, that sometimes you need you need some time to yourself just to recover and that kind of thing, especially when you are doing creative things. Yeah, and I think it's just important to get out, and you don't have to really spend money. I mean, not really. Depending on where you go, you could go to your local library or somewhere pretty in your area, take your book, spend an hour if you can, and I think it just does you the world of good. So definitely did for me. But now I'm in my writing room, and I've sent through the first, I'd say, 2 quarters of my middle grade novel, my new middle grade novel, to my agent. So I'm waiting on feedback. So we'll see what she thinks of that. This is always quite a nerve-wracking time when you send off something quite unpolished, and I'm quite excited about it. So it's that moment where I'm like, I don't know if I really want the feedback just yet, but I suppose we're going to do these things. At the moment I'm working on my cozy fantasy for adults, so I'm sort of inching into the time in which I need to start my next Lily Graham book. So I was going to start that in November, but I think probably going to be December, because next week we're traveling to South Africa. It's my dad's 70th birthday, so I'm going to take you guys along to that, and it should be quite different because it's spring there. So to go from cozy autumn winter vibes here to having the beautiful jacaranda trees in bloom, so the purple blossoms, I'm so excited to see those. It's been years since I've seen the jacarandas. And yeah, just going around Johannesburg and taking you guys along with me as much as I can. I mean, it is family time, so yeah, so I'm quite excited about that. So what I've been doing today is just a few sort of writing sprints, trying to get some words down for my cozy fantasy. I'm really excited about it. When you find those characters that you just love, and I mean, obviously can't tell you too much, but I'm really loving this. So yeah, the only problem is that my plot is just not there. I mean, I have an overall idea of what I want to achieve, and it's cozy fantasy, so it's meant to be sort of lower stakes, which is quite tricky for me, because even with my middle grade, I tend to do big plots, big stakes, the world needing saving and that kind of thing. And this is a bit more of a quieter story, and it's been quite fun just getting to know my characters a bit more. I'm trying to get more at the heart of the story. I'm just sort of in a discovery phase where I haven't quite mapped out the plot completely, and it's kind of scary doing it this way. It is how I do most of my books, to be fair. With my Lily Graham stuff, I have more of an idea because they often require a synopsis from the beginning. But even then, I have to almost discover the characters as I go, and until I can find my way into the characters' motivations, and they become almost real. The story just doesn't come alive, and that can actually, I can go through quite a few rounds of chapters before I settle on that character. And once I feel like I've got their voice correct, then I can go forward. So with one of my main characters in this cozy fan, like, I found her voice quite easy, and I'm loving it. And she's a witch, and she's not 100% nice, you know, for you, you know, because not all witches need to be nice. They're quite powerful, but she has a lot of redeeming qualities, and so yeah, she's been a lot of fun to write. And then the sort of her antithesis is a young woman who everything sort of goes wrong around her, and so she's quite a lovable character, but it's just sort of finding that voice completely for her. Yeah, and I mean, I'm really enjoying getting to know them both, and going forward. So I don't know when I'll finish this story. Yeah, I might have to, like I said earlier, I might have to park it. Oh, I don't know. I don't think I will park it. What I think I will do is try and work on it while I start my next Let Go book. You know, contracts come first. Yes. So that's what I've been doing, and it's been a lot of fun, especially with the rain patching against the window. That's quite nice. Frankie decided to abandon me today. I think she took one look at the muddy walk outside and said, "No, thank you." Does anyone else this happens to you? You've got your beautiful ASMR going with Snoopy, like an autumn Snoopy thing from just YouTube, and then all of a sudden all the ads come on. Bah. Anyway, let me get back to it.